Are you succeeding at the wrong thing? Here's three signs that might be happening to you. You can work hard for years. You can make progress. You can check the boxes. You can do what you're supposed to do. You can build the career, earn the money, get the promotion, impress the people around you, and still wake up one day with a very uncomfortable question. Is this really the life I wanted? Or am I building a life I never consciously chose? That's one of the greatest dangers in life, not failing, but succeeding at the wrong thing. Welcome to the Way of Permanent Transformation. I'm your host, Stanley Bronstein. Today, I'm going to give you three signs you may be building a life you never chose. Not to shame you, not to scare you, but to help you pause, tell yourself the truth, and begin making more conscious choices about the life you're building. Because if you're in your 20s, 30s, or early 40s, you're in a very powerful stage of life. You're building, you're deciding, you're creating patterns, you're forming standards, you're setting direction. And whether you realize it or not, the life you're living today is becoming the life you're going to live tomorrow. So the question is not only, am I moving forward? The deeper question is, am I moving forward in the right direction? Because movement is not the same as alignment. Progress is not the same as purpose. Achievement is not the same as excellence. And success is not the same as becoming the person you truly want to become. That's what we're going to talk about today because permanent transformation begins with learning to tell it like it is. So let's look at three signs you may be building a life you never chose. Sign number one, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not sure why you're doing it. This is one of the biggest warning signs. From the outside, everything may look fine. You're working, you're showing up, you're meeting expectations, you're making progress, you're following the path. But inside, there's a quiet lack of clarity. You're not sure why you're doing what you're doing. You're not sure whether the direction is really yours. You're not sure whether the life you're building actually fits who you are and who you want to become. That's a serious moment because many people don't choose their lives consciously. They inherit them. They inherit expectations. They inherit definitions of success. They inherit ideas about money, work, relationships, status, and what they should want. Then they spend years building a life around those inherited ideas without stopping to ask, is this mine? Is this true for me? Is this the life I actually want? Or am I simply following a script someone else handed me? There's nothing wrong with school. There's nothing wrong with work. There's nothing wrong with money. There's nothing wrong with achievement. There's nothing wrong with responsibility. But there is something wrong with never stopping to ask whether the path you're on is actually aligned with the person you want to become. So ask yourself, what am I actually building with the choices I'm making right now? Because your life isn't built by your intentions alone. It's built by your choices. It's built by your repeated actions. It's built by what you tolerate. It's built by what you practice. It's built by what you keep saying yes to. It's built by what you keep avoiding. It's built by the standards you accept, and it's built by where your time and energy goes. Sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, but uncomfortable truth is much better than comfortable self deception. So if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not sure why you're doing it, don't ignore that. That question may be trying to wake you up. It doesn't mean you failed. It may mean you're finally becoming aware. And awareness is where change begins. Sign number two, your life looks good on the outside, but it doesn't feel aligned on the inside. This is another major warning sign. A life can look good and still not be right. A life can look successful and still feel empty. A life can be admired by others and still be quietly painful to the person living it. That's because outside approval is not the same as inner alignment. Other people may see your job, your title, your income, your relationships, your resume, or your accomplishments and assume you're doing great. But you're the one who has to live inside your life. You're the one who knows whether it feels true. You're the one who knows whether you're energized or drained. You're the one who knows whether you're growing or shrinking. You're the one who knows whether you're becoming more alive or more numb. That matters because if you don't define success for yourself, the world will define it for you. Social media may define it. Your parents may define it. Your friends may define it. Your employer may define it. Your culture may define it. Fear may define it. Comparison may define it. Money may define it. Status may define it. And before long, you may find yourself chasing something that doesn't fit your soul. That's why vision matters. Vision isn't fantasy. Vision is chosen direction. It's seeing the life you want to build clearly enough that your daily choices begin to support it. So ask yourself, what does an excellent life look like for me? What kind of person do I want to become? What kind of future life would I be proud to wake up to? Don't answer those questions with what sounds impressive. Answer them with what feels true. Because this isn't about building a life that photographs well. It's about building a life that lives well. There's a big difference. If your life looks good on the outside, but doesn't feel aligned on the inside, that doesn't mean you have to blow everything up. It means you need to listen. It means you need to examine. It means you need to start telling yourself the truth. And then it means you may need to begin making different choices. Not reckless choices, not dramatic choices just for the sake of drama, but conscious choices, truthful choices, responsible choices, because alignment is built one honest choice at a time. Sign number 3, your daily standards don't match the standards of the future you say you want. This is where the work becomes real, because it's one thing to say you want a better life, it's another thing to live by standards that can actually create that life. A lot of people say they want a better future, but they don't want to live by better standards. They want better health, but they don't want to make better food choices. They want better relationships, but they don't want to practice better communication. They want better focus, but not better boundaries. They want better work, but not better discipline. They want more peace, but not less chaos. They want more freedom, but they're not willing to accept the responsibility that goes along with that freedom. That doesn't work. The future isn't built by future choices. The future is built now. It's built today by the choices you make today. It's built in the next decision. It's built in the next choice. It's built in the next standard you keep or break. The life you want requires standards that support that life. If you want to be healthy, you need standards that support health. If you want to be trusted, you need standards that support integrity. If you want to be focused, you need standards that support focus. If you want to build something meaningful, you need standards that support meaningfulness. If you want to become excellent, you need standards that support excellence. You don't need to change everything today, but you do need to change something. One standard, one action, one promise to yourself, one behavior that says, I'm serious about the life I'm building. For example, if the life you want requires health, maybe the new standard is walking 20 minutes a day. If the life you want requires clarity, maybe the new standard is 10 minutes of honest reflection each morning. If the life you want requires discipline, maybe the new standard is finishing one important task before you move on to the next one. If the life you want requires peace, maybe the new standard is saying no to things that constantly drain you. The new standard doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be real. It just has to be kept. Small standards, honored consistently, become your identity. And identity, lived consistently, becomes your life. That's how you build the life you say you want to be living. Not by wishing, not by pretending, not by waiting until everything feels perfect. You build by aligning today's behavior with tomorrow's desired life. Let's summarize. Here are the 3 signs you're building a life you never chose. Number 1, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you're not sure why you're doing it. Number 2, your life looks good on the outside, but it doesn't feel aligned on the inside. And number 3, your daily standards don't match the future you say you want. If any of those signs seem familiar, don't use this video to beat yourself up. Use it to wake yourself up, because the goal is not shame. The goal is awareness. The goal is responsibility. The goal is change. The goal is alignment. The goal is excellence. The goal is to begin building the life you consciously choose to be living. So here's one final question before we go. What's one area of your life where you may be building without enough truth? Maybe your career, maybe your health, maybe your relationships, maybe your habits, maybe your identity, maybe your future. Pick one area. Tell yourself the truth about it. Then ask, is this helping me build the life I actually want to be living? If the answer is yes, strengthen it. If the answer is no, don't panic. Don't shame yourself. Don't pretend. Just begin changing. Choose one standard, take one action, make one adjustment, tell one truth, keep one promise. That's where transformation begins. Not someday, today. That's the way of permanent transformation. If this video helped you, please like it and subscribe to this channel. New videos are released on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You might also want to check out my free book, The Way of You. The Way of You is about becoming more conscious, more honest, and more intentional about who you are, who you're becoming, and the life you're creating. You can download or read a digital copy for free on my website at thewayofexcellence.com. Until next time, remember, this is your time.